Yeah, and Rich, just talking about making dreams come true, you are obviously trying to do that with the next generation of sportscasters with your break-in and your breakthrough cohort. Where did the inspiration come from to start it?
It came out of COVID, believe it or not. Out of there's an old gospel song, out of small things, big things come. And what started as a really small thing, students getting in touch with me during COVID when all of us were basically doing nothing, um, and saying, "Could you look at my demo reel? Would you mind critiquing it?" And I said, "Sure, I have plenty of time on my hands." And by the way, just a little backstory or an aside, Colton, I practice what I preach. When I was in my early 20s, I made a long list of goals of mine that were dreams, but I wrote them down on paper and made them goals. One of those was I want to teach. Simply, 4 words. I didn't say I want to be a professor at Syracuse University or I want to teach high school. I just wrote down those 4 words. I want to teach. And while I thought, well, maybe that'll happen after I retire and I could go to a local university and be an adjunct professor or something like that, I had no idea that Zoom would exist, that social media would exist, that the internet would even exist. So when I started doing those demo reel critiques, I was telling my best friend about it. And he's a serial entrepreneur. And he said to me, "This sounds like a business." And I said, "It's not a business. I'm doing it for fun. Like, I like giving back. It's my way of teaching, for lack of a better word, which is something I've always wanted to do." He said, "Well, what if you could do that on a more regular basis?" And I'm just like most of us. I had an elite level of imposter syndrome running through my brain. And I was like, who the hell would care about what I have to say about sportscasting? And he said, let's figure it out. And we did. So a lot of the credit goes to my best friend, who was my business partner, Andrew. He kind of pushed me and prodded me and inspired me to do it. And we came up with not just something that's based on demo reel critiques, although that's included in it, but there were a lot of big picture topics that I've come to find aren't usually discussed in a college environment, certainly not in a high school environment, and most definitely not in a workplace environment. So that's really where Break In and Breakthrough was formed. And now, gosh, we're 3.5 years down the road and about 200 alumni deep, and it's just getting bigger and better every 2 months. And I couldn't be more grateful because, like I said earlier, Colton, my legacy from my children is one thing. My legacy as a sportscaster, I think, is now written in stone. It's not going to be any game that I've called. It's not going to be any show that I've hosted. It's going to be this break-in and breakthrough community that was started back during COVID times and continues to, get bigger and stronger all the time.
What has been the impact for you and Andy, Rich, knowing that you're a few years in, and really having the chance to really build that alumni base? So, how does it feel for you that you really have created something special with this cohort? And obviously, I am an alumni as well. And, it has just been something that has brought so much, joy to my career and my life as well, being a part of that alumni base.
Well, it warms my heart to hear you and so many other people say that. So I thank you, Colton. The 2 words that come to mind are simply humbling and gratifying. I had no idea how many people could be positively impacted on an 8-week Zoom session from just talking and communicating. That's the dirty little secret in our business, Colton. We are in the communications business, and there is a severe lack of communication in the communications industry. So I saw what I targeted and identified as a need. And the fact that I was able to fill, even to some small degree, that need is incredibly humbling, but it's also gratifying because When you win, I feel like I win. When I see on LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and social media in general, when I get texts from alumni or emails from people I've talked to and worked with, telling me about, oh, guess what? You'll never believe this. I was able to practice this that we talked about in the cohort and it helped me get a job. Or you won't believe this. I'm working with so and so now, and we both took the cohort at different times. Hashtag cohort karma. You've lived that. And it's happening more and more and more. And that makes me, at this stage of my career, Colton, that makes me as happy, if not happier, than when I go to Lawrence, Kansas and call a great Kansas Jayhawks basketball game, or when a Tampa Bay Ray pitcher throws a 9 inning complete game shutout. And that doesn't happen anymore, but I was able to be part of the broadcast team for it. Nothing makes me happier than hearing about the successes of the people who are part of this break-in and breakthrough community now.
And where can people go, Rich, if they have an interest to be a part of that alumni?
It's simple, richhollenberg.com. Two H's in there. It's RICHHOLLENBERG. I tried to think of some cute and clever website name, but at the end of the day, I wanted it to be my name because I wanted people to understand that I am the only person behind this, and I am 100% behind this in terms of being the forward-facing voice of break-in and breakthrough. As we mentioned, my business partner is what I call the back of the house, as they do in the restaurant biz. And there's certainly plenty of other people who help along the way. No one person can take this job on by himself, just like any industry, sportscasting included. So I stand on the shoulders of so many people who have inspired and incentivized me in the past, and I work with a great group of people who help me keep this going and growing. But I wanted it to be just my name because I wanted people to know this isn't fly by night, this isn't fake, this is as real and authentic as it gets. And I want that communication, and I crave that communication between myself and the people who join this community, because that doesn't exist anywhere else, from what I could tell. So I'm happy to have cultivated that and curated that and continue to nurture that.